Yo, it's Slate of Mine. This video, or the topic of this video today, is talking about how to use the universal laws in order to create whatever reality that you want to create for yourself. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Anyone you see popular, anyone you see in a higher vibrational status, 9 times out of 10 follows these laws, whether they do it consciously or subconsciously. I ain't gonna talk y'all ear off too much. I'm only gonna do a couple now. I'm kind of gonna split this up into like a couple part series. Yeah, just so you can be able to retain everything and not to hit y'all with too much overload to the brain, because that shit be unnecessary. So the first one we're gonna talk about is the law of oneness and how everything is connected. I know a lot of us are in our what we consider the dark night of the soul, in our isolation state, right? But understand that that can also be a blockage to you, especially on your path of just growing. You can keep telling yourself that, yeah, I'm the black sheep, I'm the chosen one, no one understands me, I'm isolated, but you're cutting yourself off to the whole world around you. And by you doing that, you're cutting yourself off from a part of the universe. And you understand how that works. If you ain't looking at it from the whole perspective, from a non-dual state, you technically are still stuck in some type of box. Even if your mind has got out of a box, you can still enter a new one. So like, the goal to using the law of oneness is understanding that is really appreciating, having gratitude for the things that are around you, even when you feel like there is no type of connections or no type of synchronicities. Think about how many of y'all catch 1111 or 111 or all those type of things. Or think about how many of y'all might hear a certain song at a certain time, or a certain friend might text you this thing at a certain time to tell you this. All these things were meant to happen for you. That is the law of oneness, helping you understand that as separate as you feel from this world, there is no thing as separation. It's all an illusion. So when you're going on YouTube and you're telling yourself, dang, I see these creators who are blowing up and making all this money, or if you're in your respective field and you see all these people over here enjoying themselves, over here grinding, making their money, and you're telling yourself like, yeah, I don't really fit in with those, I can't really do what they do. Or you start giving yourself these limiting beliefs, subconsciously that's going to be what's stuck in your brain, and every decision that you make now will now be based off of that. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to check ourselves mentally when we tell ourselves things, because sometimes it's like, yeah, we can use it as a coping mechanism to feel good in the moment. Our ego always has to find some type of place to feel important, even in the importance. I think if I might be making shit up. Listen, I might be making shit up. I don't know. It sounded right though. But yeah, like, we're creating all of these limiting beliefs in our own brain, and then when we go to do an action, it's all based off of what we've told ourselves. So like, a way to check that is saying, hey, looking around you, seeing the people on YouTube, hey, start going into the comment section. Start responding to people there. Start going into communities, going into group chats, doing whatever you need to do in order to find people who are more like you. Because there's a million people all saying that we all isolated and introverts. Why don't all the introverts come together? You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's just little small shit that we can do in order to grow ourselves and make ourselves better. And by the time we make ourselves better, every action that we do at that point from that base vibration will now carry over. So now we're doing things from a higher standpoint, from a loving standpoint. So I feel like that's definitely one key, we just gotta start looking and stop telling ourselves that we are so isolated and we're so by ourselves. All that shit, you keep telling yourself that shit's nothing. I promise to you, it's gonna keep walking that path of isolation. Unless you just want to keep doing that, hey, to each his own. Yeah, so like I said, before I get too much rambling on that, let's talk about the law of vibration and how that correlates. Law of vibration, y'all done heard that shit a million times as well. Just learning to vibrate correctly. Learning to vibrate correctly is really just doing certain actions and holding a certain mindset throughout the day that corresponds to what you want to do. And whether that's higher or lower, because certain people use the scale for not just good things, but also bad things. So we just have to understand it's a polarity to that. And sometimes we can use those things for a bad thing. And then we'll realize that subconsciously that we're vibrating lower. You know what I mean? We might hang around certain people who vibrate lower. We might do certain actions within ourselves that correspond. And we start vibrating lower. It's like we have to see ourselves as like a radio station, right? You can tap into all of the channels just by the twist of the knob, just by the twist of your decision, you feel what I'm saying? Or the twist of your thought here, right? But let's say that you just keep vibrating on 87.5, and on that vibration is you eating unhealthy, is you listening to certain music, you know what I mean? Is you doing certain extra, you know, we ain't gonna talk about, but everybody, we said to each is their own. Doing those certain things, if that vibration is on 87.5 and you understand that the vibration of your higher self is on 99.1, and you're not consciously turning that dial or making those certain decisions to be that, you will always vibrate in the same exact way. I promise to you. It's going to be just a repeating cycle, because autonomy becomes just you won't even realize it's happening until like months down the line. You like, bro, I ain't really did shit. Time just feel like it flew. And you like, damn, it's because I really ain't do shit. So that's just something that we got to check within ourselves, you know what I mean? Whenever we just making certain decisions. Learning to vibrate is just learning to make a different choice. Like, I ain't gonna overcomplicate it, you know what I mean, with a whole bunch of esoteric this or scientific that. Just point blank, that's just what it is. So how to use that in your business? Let's say that you're a person who say, yo, I want to make this type of money, right? Okay, boom, now you find a certain way or a certain system that helps you make that type of money, and now you be the person who follows that system, because in order for you to make the money, you follow that system. That's the vibration, that's the decision you've made. If you're trying to do YouTube and you're saying, hey, I want 1 million subscribers, but that self-limiting belief is saying, damn, no one's watching my videos. When you go to post a video, you're not going to put as much energy into the video. So now when people are watching it, they're going to notice that, dang, this shit seems boring. So guess what they do? Click off. It's like, sometimes we think it's here, but it's really us here. Like, you know what I mean? It's easy to put it out into the world and blame the world for this and see it's the external, but the external is the internal. So we got to stop wasting our time on that. You know what I mean? Let's break that belief right there. Point blank, period. And the last one I'm really going to talk about today is the law of attraction. And I feel like this is a good spot to end off, because the next one's going to coincide with it. The law of attraction is saying that, is understanding that whatever you want into this world, you already have it. Right? At least that's what they've told us, and that's what we hear, right? To break that down into simple terms, I want you to think about time like this, right? Think about your whole span of life. This is going to sound weird, but the version of you who was already doing that is already at a certain point on this timeline, right? And this timeline seems like it's linear, seems like it's going forward. But what if the timeline is how we base it back again with the vibration? It's all about decision making. When they talk about reality shifting and law of attraction, it goes back again to making certain decisions and holding that belief no matter what. And even when things are opposing, it doesn't falter. You ever notice that when you want to know why it's so easy to hold a negative vibration or attract a negative vibration to us? Think about it this way. Even when we're negative, even when we're going through our slopes of what people consider depression or sadness or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Even when we're going through that and certain people are trying to do good to us, we'll block it off and we'll still stay put in our negative energy. That's what manifests or attracts that negative world that we quote unquote see for ourselves. It's the mindset and what we are believing and how strong of an intent that we have with that mindset. So now, if we can take that same exact strength that we have to be negative, that same unfaltering feel that even when someone positive comes to us, we just block it off. If we can hold that belief that we hold for negative with the positive, you will attract everything that you want. It's just that simple. Like, realize that you're already doing these things and just switch what you're doing it for. It's not no keys that you really unlock. It's realizing that the keys have already been within you and you've just been using the keys in the wrong way. Your awareness with the keys have just been in one way. So I ain't gonna talk y'all ear off too much, man. I'm just gonna hit y'all with just the straight what it is, right then and there, no crazy fluff, none of that. Yeah, and that's just what it is, you know what I mean? So I hope this information gets to, you know what I mean, even if it's just one person. I hope it gets to y'all, you know what I mean? And you can take something with it and do with it. I know I ramble crazy, but you know what I mean? Definitely good talking to you. Slate of mine.